Hello everyone. I hope that you're all safe and well, and for those of you who are poorly, I wish you a speedy recovery. Having just caught COVID for the first time myself and suffered the effects of it, these last couple of weeks have been quite tough. And of course, that means I'm now aware of just how debilitating it can be for some of us, and my sympathy to all who have had it. Now, I was chatting to someone just yesterday who said to me, "It never rains but it pours." The person I was speaking to, of course, was referring to a very difficult week that we've faced in schools right across the country, and obviously including Oban and Tiree. Each of these schools have faced staffing, weather, and for many, IT challenges in particular. I noted in last week's letter that we face such difficulties every year at this particular time, but it seems that this last week's been particularly hard hitting for us. The weather has remained foul, and consequently we've had transport disruption with the ferries again, with the trains again, and the snow and ice, well, not as bad as it is normally at this time of the year. It's still led to road closures and the inability for some pupils and staff being able to come into school or to come into school on time. And indeed this week we saw our first crash of the winter season, sadly. But I'm pleased to report that those involved are making speedy recoveries. My thanks to everyone involved in looking after our youngsters, the driver, the guidance staff, the deputies, and of course our parents. Absent rates are higher than average just now, not just because of the transport issues I just mentioned, but mainly because of illness. Every January and every February, absent rates in all schools across the land, they go up. It's a common occurrence and it's entirely natural. Teachers refer to it as flu season. It's a pretty basic, yet a very accurate description of what's going on. Of course, this year adding to flu season is a far higher number of COVID-related absences, and that's being added to the mix and making life more difficult. And just to complete the absence picture, I should note that staff still have to attend emergency appointments at the dentist or the hospital or whatever. They still have home life emergencies with perhaps their kids or an elderly relative, and they are still required to be absent from class to attend things like child planning meetings and the like, things that school normally asks them to do. And the net result is that Oban High, Tiree High and Tiree Primary have been very short-staffed this week, and far more than is usually the case. Many schools facing such difficulties have previously instructed year groups to work from home. They have placed multiple classes in a hall for the week, or at best have handed out textbooks and asked the cover teachers to get the pupils to work through the work that's usually set by a principal teacher and to get through that work as best they can. Now, we've refrained from telling our seniors not to come into school, though we have merged some of our smaller classes into a single classroom at times to support a supervision strategy that we have that's designed to keep kids in school. We have managed to keep this small enough to avoid placing multiple classes in the hall, and we've continued to have subject specialists guiding the support of the lessons. Now, that's the benefit of Oban being a large school with multiple subject teachers, or in the case of Tiree, to have Tiree's single teacher departments become members of far larger departments. Regardless of the strategy employed, it still required a fantastic level of effort, of commitment, of hard work from those left in the school to ensure that our classes continue to progress, even with the staffing shortage. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the local authority for sending central team staff to Oban to help with cover classes, and I'd like to thank Oban staff for supporting Tiree's teachers with the subject-specific guidance necessary to move the kids forward in their learning. The support is not just teacher support. As you'll be aware, when we require teacher cover, management support, janitorial cover, technical cover, I send Oban staff to Tiree whenever possible. And such will be the case again next week, as I've just arranged for 2 technical support staff to be available to resolve another of the exceptional difficulties that we're facing at the current time. As I noted in Thursday's update, a communication cable, I should say, on the seabed that delivers our IT through something referred to as the SWAN network's been damaged, and this is going to take some weeks to fix permanently. Meantime, I've got two alternatives being adopted. We have purchased some IT kit that's now been delivered, and that will allow classes to get back up and running between the two schools using the 4G network. And that remedial work will commence tomorrow. I'm sending one of the Oban technicians along with that kit that we just bought to Tiree tomorrow, and they'll start the process of fixing it. I'll also bring with me on Monday when I arrive a network specialist from the council who also has equipment that may be able to patch the current internal network. Now, that's far too complicated for me to get my head round, but the reason I tell you what I'm telling you is to give you some reassurance that we're trying to have a couple of strategies in place to try and fix the issue, rather than just put all our eggs in one basket that some IT kit is going to work. On the subject of VC, I thought I would add a few words. Now, the VC's been down this week, and we've been relying on staff phoning each other between the schools on mobiles to make sure that lessons progress. Now, although not ideal, this really unique problem, which a cut in the cable off the seabed is pretty unique, I would say, it has been tackled through a short-term fix, and we hope to have that resolved in full soon. The disruption, though, has led to a degree of unsettlement about using VC, and I thought I would add a wee reminder of the benefits. Tiree High School used to offer around a dozen traditional subjects to their pupils. Thanks to the offer of VC lessons delivered by Oban, pupils now have nearly 40 subjects to choose from. That's a choice of subjects that can enhance their career or their university options. These opportunities, they include an increase in the breadth of courses available, the number of different types of courses, and the level, so we can offer more levels as we go up, and that level even goes as far as delivering foundation apprenticeships. Oban High School benefits, of course, because there's specialist staff in Tiree that are able to beam back lessons to Oban. So, for example, music technology, and Oban kids are really grateful for that too. There's also this view that VC lessons seem pretty unique to our schools in Oban and Tiree, but they're not unique at all. There are over 3,000 pupils across Scotland learning in this manner. What is more unique, however, is the sister school approach and the unified timetable, because that gives us the ability to more effectively support pupils whose teachers are absent. Normally, if a teacher goes off sick, if they retire, if they go on maternity, they get a promotion, or maybe they move to a bigger school to enhance their career prospects, or maybe they want to move back to the central belt to be closer to home, then the class left behind requires a cover teacher, temporarily, until a replacement staff member is found. This cover teacher, is more often than not a subject specialist, although they'll still be a fully qualified teacher, and they supervise classes and encourage pupils to make their way through textbooks until the absent teacher returns from their illness, or until the recruitment process leads to the arrival of a new teacher. These scenarios are entirely normal, and they occur in every school, every single day, to varying degrees across the country. What is unique, or fairly unique, about Oban and Tiree is that when a teacher is absent, we're able to use the VC provision that we designed to enhance choice and to support staff development and cross-school communication as a way of ensuring that a subject specialist can, more often than not, teach a class requiring a cover teacher. And that avoids non-subject specialist teachers merely steering a class through a series of textbook tasks and questions. It's a fantastic bonus for our schools. So for those that say there's too much VC, that may be true for some for a short spell of time. But the alternative of no VC is less career enabling choices, or consigning classes to textbook delivery by non-specialists when staff are absent with illness, or we're waiting to fill a recruitment issue. So that lets me turn to the subject of staffing. Last week I thanked Alistair Smith for his service to our school. Alistair has stated very clearly his enjoyment and made clear his thanks for the opportunity to develop within Tiree High School. But He wishes to take his career further in a larger school of almost 1,000 pupils, and that's a necessary step for any teacher hoping to be promoted in the future. Likewise, another of our young teachers who joined us fairly recently has also given thanks for the opportunity to work in Tiree High School, but also sees the lure of a school of over 1,000 pupils in this case, and one in the Central Belt, to be too attractive an opportunity for them to miss. So I'm sure that you will join me in also thanking our wonderful science teacher, Sophie Histed, for her service. She's been fabulous, and we wish her well in her career. All our vacancies are placed in the press immediately when someone tells us of their intention to depart, and we've already placed these positions on a website called My Job Scotland, which is a website that every teacher who's looking for a job knows to look for. And we've got interview dates in the diary, and I'll keep you posted when we do appoint. As well as teacher posts out to advert and for interview, I'm due to interview for a new family liaison officer, and I hope to do that on Monday when I'm in Tiree. I mentioned at the start of this wee video that it's been a very difficult week. Indeed, COVID has brought some very difficult months, and this is unlikely to go away soon. I'd therefore like to close by not only thanking you for all your continuing efforts and support of the school, but to make it very clear to all in the community my unswerving appreciation and gratitude for the dedication of all our staff in these trying times, as well as my admiration for our pupils who, regardless of what seems to be going on around them, they remain calm and trusting of those whose care remain their key concern. They, like I, trust and respect their teachers' efforts, and for that trust and respect, I'm equally very thankful. Now, next week will be tough, hopefully not as tough as this week, but you're still very welcome to contact us via the website, and we'll continue to do everything we can to support you. I hope you all have a lovely weekend ahead. Thanks very much.